Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back again to another video. My name is Javi. If it's your first time watching, welcome, much love, namaste. In this video, we're gonna speak about what happens after you have your spiritual awakening. So, see, most people believe or think or have this idea that once you awaken or meet God or you ascend in higher consciousness, that's it, that you finished the goal, you finished, you're accomplished, you're done working on yourself. And part of it is true. Yes, you do liberate yourself from a lot of suffering. You liberate yourself from the duality of the suffering and the not understanding of why things happen, and you empower yourself and you gain a lot of clarity and a lot of peace and love and tranquility, and a lot of this stuff happens, which is why a lot of the reasons why we pursue to understand our spiritual self and the universe and God and our divine essence and all of these things. So we do gain a lot of things, and it is a sense of accomplishment, and you achieve something. But that's the funny part, that's also part of the trick that the mind plays on us, that the ego plays on us, that once you get to this state of peace, the mind finds that opportunity to ask, what's next? And what's next? And people, this is very subtle. This is very, very subtle. And this is very, very like you knowing yourself and being in the moment 24/7, because it will come in. And when that happens, a lot of people, end up falling to that program or falling to that mental paradigm, thinking that they're still awake. So what does happen when you have your spiritual awaken? You come to the space of pure conscience. You're not your ego. You're not playing this identity no more. You're not in duality and the victim anymore. You're fully empowered. You're at one with the universe in this blissful. Well, what happens is that now you got to live that. See, this whole time up until now has been to get there, working on yourself left and right, doing the meditations, doing the mantras, doing the eating the good food, doing all these things. Up until now, it's been to get there. But now that you're there, now you have to actually be there, live from there. And what does that mean? It means you're still going to have fortitude, even more than ever. You're still going to have great discipline, great everything. And it's not something you're doing, really, like mentally doing. You're just having to have like this sense of, you can always fall back. People can still always go back to sleep. You can go to heaven, and you can go into the higher dimensions of consciousness and be there ascended, quote unquote, and be with the universe in heaven for 1,000,000 years in spirit. Because remember, human body is only here temporary, but we our spiritual energy, our spiritual conscience is eternal. It's eternal. So remember, you can be in heaven for the next billion years, quadrillion years, but if you don't sustain that frequency, and if you don't sustain that level of purity, you're gonna fall right back. So that's the funny part about this whole thing of this universe, that it part of it is the duality. It has a purpose. The duality, the dark, it has a purpose. It's the backdrop to where we paint our life on. It is the backdrop to where we create our consciousness on. For example, the light, you cannot see the light unless it has something to be reflected through or onto. So there's always going to be this duality. Just, yes, of course, in higher consciousness, everybody in there and in that field, it's easier to stay in higher consciousness. That's why everybody wants to go there. But you're not ever, ever, ever like done and like mission accomplished type of, thing. You're always, always, always held to the moment. You're still having to be responsible for this moment, for you to stay, elevated, for you to stay awake. So what I'm trying to say is what happens when you awaken is that now you actually have to stay awake. Now you actually have to, live from that space 24/7. Because if you don't, you're going to just fall right back into slumber and sleep and down into the, the denser vibrations and denser consciousness. And that's one thing that I see happen with people, with people that they do so much work on themselves and spiritually and physically, and they raise themselves in such great spirit and such great, they evolve so much, they grow so much. And it's happened to me. I've actually gone back to sleep several times, for whatever reasons, that like I was gaining so much, consciousness, liberating myself from so much trauma and karma and all these things, and then all of a sudden you're at a point where you have to make a big changing decision. It's like what Jesus said. Jesus told everybody that to follow him and to give up their riches and to truly, truly test yourself. Are you willing to let go of everything? I mean, it can seem like you're going to go back to caveman style and like give up all your comforts and everything. And part of it, yes, you do have to kind of give up this physical, surrender this physical life. And you're not surrendering to die, you're surrendering to be born, you're surrendering to not be controlled by it. So what he was referring to, what Jesus was referring to, is the comfort that we seek in the world, we must replace it by the comfort we gain from being at one with God. So God is our comfort, the universe becomes our comfort, and that's the part where, people have to process that and have to go through that lesson. And essentially that's kind of what ends up happening, to where the point that you are able to sustain yourself truly at peace, truly at one with everything, and fully enlightened, to the point where you know who you are and your source so much that you have no fear, you have no doubt, you have no lack. You are in great abundance and in great power, and you know why, and you are living that why. This isn't just a belief anymore. This isn't just a philosophy anymore. Your life is the experience of it, and staying there is what happens when you awaken. You have to still stay there, like you and your own intention still have to hold yourself to that frequency. You don't like go back to, okay, I've awoken and I can get comfortable and relax and now I'm enlightened. No, it's like now you have to live that versus living, this. And that's pretty much it. You ascend to a place where everything's just flows easier. you're at one with everything. Everything is at one with you. Everything's supporting you. You're supporting everything. And everything you see that it's this whole oneness is not just you know, a nice, you know, hallmark thing to say or think or believe or philosophize about. It's actually a beautiful experience to have. So, namaste, everybody. I hope all of you guys are just having the best life experiences ever, full of just like true heartfelt emotions and heartfelt experiences and love and all these beautiful things that are this whole vastness of life in every possible way. May you always be abundant. Much love. Peace always be with you. Namaste. All is love. Amitabha. Peace.